Okay, at this point in time, I'd like to call the meeting to order. As the fellow board members received a copy of the director's decisions, violation last 20 letters. Do we have a motion at this time on those items?
Approve the director's decision violation present day warning letters and active status letter.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? All right, we have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. Yeah.
Marlon, can we verify that Susan can hear us and that we can hear her, please?
Motion carries.
Sorry, our technology controls are like.
Oh, you're good.
Awesome.
Are we doing the ABC admin update first, or are we doing the hearing first?
It's up to y'all. I can do the admin update pretty quick if you want to just
Okay.
do it.
Yep.
Okay. Susan, I hope you can hear us. Please text somebody if you not.
I'm sorry, really quickly, so we got confused a lot that there's an echo. I think either Scott or ABC
So our
mic
seminar,
needs to be turned off, like muted.
okay. We may need to dial her in. So, Susan, we can text you a number to call in, I believe. Someone will be working on you. Okay, so ABC seminars, we're still doing those over at the big conference room because we're having pretty good attendance at those. The last one we had 88. I think the time before that was around 58. So we have another one in September and another in October. Next slide, please. Personnel update. We finally have our new marijuana attorney. We've been talking about her since April. This is Holly. Holly, please stand. I'll put your head on that chair. This is Holly.
Yeah.
So we took her to the Marijuana Expo. She's attorney, so we're excited to have her. Also, an attorney position has been posted. We've not been getting a lot of bites on it. So if you have staff attorneys, send them the link. We're going to post it until we get somebody good to join our team. So that is still posted. All right.
Oh, it's good to see that you lasted 2 months.
Yeah. On the ABC officers and hearings breakdown, we got through renewals and started pricing those out again. So you'll see those numbers starting to come back up what they have been. The director's hearings have been steady, even with Aaron out. We've had some help from our tobacco and marijuana attorneys to cover those and keep them going. So we appreciate that. We've got our tobacco attorney Cameron kind of hiding in the back. You guys may be seeing him every now and then. We have an MOU so that we can share duties between tobacco and alcohol on some of our legal staff. So we offer fines in the amount of $18,500. And we do have some more directors hearings scheduled out through September. So we're going to keep scheduling those until we have to stop. If that is for some reason that we cannot find anybody for that alcohol position, there may be a time where we take a break. But you guys would see that reflected in the numbers.
So the 18.5 that's added to 36 offers and acceptance.
Go back. Yes.
Okay.
And then on the marijuana side, that been up big time. I think with renewal season and having to catch up, our last couple times we looked at it, it was maybe $12,000, $5,000. We've bumped that up quite a big time this month, started catching up on offers, and again, very happy to have all in here. So you see those amounts, $41,000. We have been busy trying to just continuous improvement really is the theme under Secretary of Joe Hudson at DFA. So we've been trying to make sure that we're looped in with the industries and we're making sure that our office is improving with the industries too. So the Arkansas Forward Project is a big part of that. Starting at the governor's office down, DFA is participating in how to make the regulatory division run efficiently. Part of that, if you'll see even down on the bottom, regulatory has coordinated on rebranding efforts with lottery. So we are starting to try to figure out ways that we can work together, maybe try to mesh some front desk areas or software technologies in the future so that we can kind of be a one-stop shop for these kind of permit holders who have renewal tax permits. So that's part of our coordinating with lottery. There may be some anything as far as what do we call ourselves? The combination of alcohol, marijuana, tobacco, racing, gaming, lottery. So that could be happening sometime soon. In line with that, we have been improving our websites on all the sides, tobacco, alcohol enforcement. And we did go to the Cannabis Expo last week. And it was quite a party there. We did have some speakers at the industry day, Trent, myself, and Chip spoke and got some good questions from the industry about what types of regulations bother us, what things they can do better. I think we had some good feedback there. So we've been busy.
Will the comparison, is it gonna be similar to Oman or basically, I think it's, they're celebrating what I'm getting in?
So the casino amendment is specific to them, and you know what they did with this because they don't have an ABC that they can sell on Christmas Day. That's something that our culture cannot do and have specific to their amendment. So I don't think it would look too much differently than the types of casino arrangements we see now. Saracen current. They are building a hotel. I figured that's the one we had mentioned on that slide. We've been installing construction side. It's going to be a pretty big hotel. It's going to be a pretty big operation that they were very much want to mess with this to show us that they are doing everything they can do to set it up to be compliant from the front end. And then in the news, we've seen a few things this week. I don't know if you guys know, but there was a presentation, legislative briefing at a subcommittee about medical marijuana use and a study that's federally funded that's been done by Dr. Wilson Johnson. That is something that we were made aware of that was going to happen shortly before it did happen. Mr. Mayor went there, listened to the report. Basically, it's a study that takes our CDCL check information and compares it to the information that health departments and consumers might have. So they try to make some sort of connections between patient use and doctor's visits, payments on medicine versus payments on medical marijuana. And so if you guys are interested in any of his findings, we do have a few links to his work. We also have his PowerPoint. So we've been getting some questions about that. We do not work in coordination with them on the study, but we don't see anything that we blatantly disagree with. There may be some things that we can see from BioTrack and from patient behavior that may have looked suspicious to people who are studying, but we've seen that it's like employees buying things for research and development. There was a statement made that potentially a patient can come in and buy like 700 gummies at one time. A concern is that that's not something that we see. So just wanted to let you guys know that did happen in front of the legislature. If you have any questions, we're happy to get you that presentation. Also, the ROC extended the hours for Sunday on premise alcohol sales. It was 10 p.m. and it's now midnight. And then down at the bottom, I put a little link about the crowd at the marijuana expo. We went on Friday, the industry day, but I told that Saturday was very completely attended, but it was quite a big event. Lots of people were lined up to try to get their music cards. And I think that's all we have. You'll notice I didn't change the logo yet, but we will have the new logo on the PowerPoint probably by next month. It's a nice hearing. If you guys, or that's the admin update. If you don't have any questions, you can go ahead and get ready on hearing. I don't know if we need a recess for you to talk to Jeff Vince. I'm also here for that.
I'll straighten that. If we want to have an official recess, I wanted to talk. We talked last time about, coming up the legislative session, let's kind of ideas, stuff we wanted to try to work on cleaning up, to kind of present. Is that also something that's kind of in the background?
Yes, we have legislative proposals. I wish we could do everything else on the list. Our list was like over 35 things long that we really saw that we wanted to change. We have created narrows that down to about 3 or 4 that we think are priority cleanup items. Some of them, one of our statutes, believe it or not, says that you can't purchase alcohol with a debit card. The intent of that statute is that a retailer cannot purchase from a wholesaler outside of cashier's booth. But the way it actually reads, let's not look at what I really think is in it. So things like that are important deletions we think we want to make. So we want to focus on things that are just or in contrast to our practice right now and delete those.
The 35 you're talking about, what's the reasoning why you're trying to trim the things that you're trying to get cleaned out?
We don't want to throw a lot of, we don't want to throw too much at one time without us knowing that we have a good grasp of what all of the connected webs would be. So we think it's easy for everyone to change one definition, but that really can affect every single time it shows up in any other statute. So we just want to be sure that we're not making things worse. So we want to take reasonable size bites by time. We just don't want to get it wrong.
Has there been any dialogue with anyone, like any license holders, a consensus on things they feel like changing the drafts and changing stuff like Hades, like we're seeing on our side, we like that cleaned up.
Oh, absolutely. And I think one thing that's a little bit different between all three of the industries that I work in regulating is alcohol is kind of the first one normally to want to drive that business. So we have seen drafts of bills that other people want to run our samples and us or affect the industry as a whole. Most of the time in the alcohol industry, they want the ownership of that. They want to run the bias, so they want the ownership of it. So I don't see us spearheading as many as 35 proposals, but I do think that there could be several alcohol related issues. I know that there will be several alcohol related issues that are driven by it, or not specifically.
I would say like the industry members, if they wanted to present stuff to us before it goes to the election session, it would probably have more impact if it's not just them on their own. If it's like, hey, we the the ABC staff and board, and they are also in support of these items as well, versus it's the same thing we do to try to like modernize things or where it makes sense.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And to your point, we want to keep a close eye on anything that anyone is going to introduce alcohol related, right? Because if they come in and they say some silly bill that makes my life more difficult or makes enforcement impossible, Connor and I are not going to like that. So we want to make sure that the language is appropriate for the practical enforcement of what they're trying to get us to do. So there's not going to be, hopefully, there's not going to be something that someone tries to run that they haven't already tried to ask us for a meeting about.
Yeah. Oh, ready? All right. At this time, I'd like to call for Tracy Wider, the B Bar and Grill, permit number 787-02 now 03 at 811 Magnolia Drive, Northfield. It's a restaurant mixed use maximum viewing of a direct order on June 4th, 2024. Is everyone here from y'all side? And you can state your names for the record.
It's now Tracy Pruitt. I've gotten married since then.
Congratulations. James Pruitt. Okay. Tracy and James Pruitt. Is there anyone else besides you all that will be doing testimony here tonight? And then from the ABC side, so what do we have doing testimony?
We'll have Agent Blake Tyler.
Agent Zappiel and Mr. and Ms. Ryder, please raise your right hands for me. I'll swear you in. Do you swear to tell the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Okay, thank you. At this point, you'd like to start your ABC start on your side. Go ahead.
So if exactly I'm set up here, the charges here for today, is an appeal of hearing director's decision for two separate date incidents, but everything was combined into this offer and then into the hearing. So we'll be going through all of that today, and those violations are that on or about August 19th, 2023, orderly conduct occurred on the permitted premises in violation of section 3.19, subsection 12 of the local a violation. That on and about August 19th, 2023, Outlet was in violation of section 1.79, grade 2 of the AC rule of failure to be a good neighbor, a class A violation. That on or about August 19th, 2023, for operator furnished alcoholic beverages to intoxicated person in violation of Arkansas Code and to section 3-4-43, number 17, and section 3.19 4B of the ABC rules, a class A violation. That on or about November 2nd, 2023, ABC enforcement covered the outlet had good purchase and no timely application filed in violation of section 1.79.6 of the ABC rules, class C violation. And lastly, that on or about November 2nd, 2023, ABC enforcement discovered that the outlet had changed its trade name as listed on the renewal application in violation of section 1.25 of the ABC rules, the class C violation. So now, so going to Agent Salville, please state your name, occupation for the record.
Agent Blake Zappo, alcohol beverage control.
As part of your duties, do you investigate alleged violation of ABC rules?
Yes, I do.
On or about September 22nd, 2023, did you investigate alleged violation of the Bar and Grill, known as Silverado's?
Yes.
How did you become aware of this incident?
I was first notified the police department that there was an incident, a fight, and the fight occurred on 8/19/2023 around 1 a.m. The Academy Valley Police Department was not called when it happened until it was over. There was the first group was a group of women that fought outside the front door in the parking lot. Byron Johnson, James Britt, and a man in a red shirt were trying to restrain and break the love. Then a group of men fought right by the front door, knocking a large pole over onto a white Chevy truck belonging to Byron Johnson of Arkadelphia. The female in the blue shirt identified as Jacqueline Old Mido. She is about 23 years old, and she was the main actor that was supposedly cheating on her husband. And then Jacqueline Olmedo appeared to be very intoxicated on the video. Jacqueline Olmedo was banned by James Britt telling Officer Brown of the police department to let her know that she's banned and she would be charged with trespassing if she came back. Jacqueline Olmedo was riding with Boy Bethel and Tricia Bethel. The majority of the actors had been drinking inside the business before the fight, including the female in the blue shirt identified as Jacqueline Olmedo. See attached video.
So did you receive body cam footage from the incident?
Yes, I received footage from the officer's body camera where he was reviewing the video of the fight at the business.
We're going to show that video.
Did we confirm that Susan can be heard on the speakers?
Hold on this one.
Yeah, Susan, can we just confirm that we can hear you?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Perfect. All right. Thanks. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
This will play with the laptop's audio, so forgive me if it's not very low. Logos aren't on because it creates the troubles in the back. Okay.
Same girl, Jacqueline.
And before we, Agent Salville, who is this in the video?
The man with the hat on backwards, that shirt is going to be the man seated right there.
Thank you.
Girl, if I spoke hard, I just told her to stop. They didn't take him. If they think he's supposed to come around, we're telling him to stop. Fuck out of here. I'm not. So, same girl, Jacqueline, what's her name? Angela, I got her, the other things trying to get her in. I'm the only one I've touched the kids was her. So I grabbed her. Where is she at? Florida. I grabbed her. I only have one hand. The other hand is punching. Is that the no? I see my other. It's not her. It's still in front of my face. And then we finally got it all done. Fred had, and out of nowhere, come back and he's supposed to be right around. It's supposed to be. So all I want to do is get fuck out. That's all we were trying to do. Was there anybody else involved in it? I heard. So inside. We got to talk.
This is the time on the yes, get through and then kind of walk. So
We don't start having the whole bucket. This is one. Growing. So the husband and family, she was trying to fight the whole bucket family. But it's his mom who's there. Literally, and wait. What was and I was like, basically, just like they don't have a certificate. I think I'm going. And it was you just weren't yeah. Oh, anytime you get stuck, you want to start your guy. People up there, so race out and blue shirt. That's me. And I agree you guys are doing your job and I appreciate that. But I want you guys to understand that I've never been listen, no free fall. No freeze fall. No freeze fall. I want you to know. No, wait a minute. I don't know matrix. Have you ever been in trouble? So what happened? Somebody told me to my feet swimming down to the ground. So I finally get ready for what you say, so I got to attack them. The first person I see. And I knew it was him. What because it took an hour the entire time. Did somebody come here to try next question? Yes. That's what I'm coming up here and your people. Excuse my husband and my name. I'm missing his name. Vehicles? Yes, sir. Why? And try to take. I think one year she said, she said, this is not your home. And I was like, your home. And she was like, so I just had to go over she was like, hey. I wouldn't even tell somebody that it's like you. Because why would that make sense? Like it makes sense. It was all no. Isabella, I'm sorry. Scratch that. No, it's so Isabella, it's all you know.
Is this directly to your trying to, as the
There were two separate fights, and I don't know what caused the second fight. Because I was there, and you can't really figure out what happened in the second fight, but it occurred at the front door. The second fight right by the front door, and that's when they knocked over the ball on the Chevy truck in front of the door there in business. But a lot of the actors that were out there, and in the second fight, they were all inside the bar. So, and I couldn't tell you what caused them to.
The first, this young lady, and we were going to look at the vehicle. And the second one, some people come outside.
Some people from inside the bar that were involved. I don't know exactly who all was involved because I wasn't there. But from the police report, she said that Byron Johnson and James Britt were in that person. Well, I don't know exactly what all, who all threw blows, whatever. And she says that she was thrown to the ground. So
There are a couple of words in this that I do want to play because it's people talking about what happened. So that might really explain to you guys the situation.
and by the time we arrived, I occurred as well.
yes, that all happened. Like the first one happened, and just shortly after that, the other one started right there, by the front door.
And there is some footage of that later on.
Yeah, with because the officer goes in and used the footage from the business.
Okay.
And just as a procedural note, if you ever wanted our council to like stop presenting something, you could ask for that, but she does have a few different like specific times.
Okay.
And so you could always like refuse to watch the evidence if you wanted to, but sometimes it is for the purpose of what the purpose
Sure.
is.
As far as I know, that's in the car. As far as I know, my kids and their grandfather. I'm just trying to.
They gave your husband's phone.
My,
Is it your husband's name?
yes,
So it's gotta be your husband's phone.
correct.
Okay. We were, like y'all have, right, we look for right here. I'm sorry, what if you know, you're going back. Okay. So y'all came out, they were already going to do the notification. Well, they were talking, and me and Byron, we had here talking, and looking down that way, like, the family had the girl down. They were trying, I don't know if she started it or what, but I know they had her on the ground. So we come in, I pull a female off, I pull another female off, and I grab the last female, I him, and got straight like that. Just grab her, and constructed that light box here. Okay. So Byron, I got her up against front, like getting physically off restraint, verbally going, you're going in, you're on the side. That's what you gotta do. And y'all, sir, he's not pushing her. He's not pushing her, he's restraining her. Bro, she's the one being arrested out of everybody. When we got us split up, she's the one being arrested. So then we got back up, and Byron and the other guy, like Byron's got on her. And then she goes back to the body. So then I grab her. Well, since I only have her body in one arm, this arm was free, me inside the head. And so I was free from both arms. And so another girl grabbed her. And when the other girl grabbed her, she was down there to raise her. keep that. So then I'm here trying to tell you, I just told everybody, get the fuck out of here. It goes where, let me go. Mom, this man noticed, but I'm gonna use it. Right, just like that. Out of nowhere, you're on the booster, I'm trying to be right around, like rain. I don't know how to make it. I like, and get me. And, after again, I see a store. So I ran down the neck, both in, both arms, in my hand. And then the girl in the red grabbed her next one. Yeah. You know, I was like, just
Yes, yes.
The time on body camera, correct? We time on this all place. So if I have that goes on one part. They very.
Agent Saville, to your knowledge, I know long did combine both incidences take place.
Not for sure the amount of time. Was a little bit of time that it transpired. Say somewhere in the neighborhood, 15 to 20 minutes.
And after viewing this body cam video, what led you to believe that the outlet had failed to be a good neighbor?
Because the first incident happened, they called the police right away. Like at the beginning of the first incident, when it all started, somebody tried to call law enforcement. So they could, that way maybe prevented the second fight from happening.
And was there any sort of disturbance to the neighborhood that's happening?
Well, they were outside being loud. So there is residences within the area, across the street, up and down the roads. It's pretty much all residential around there. It's not commercial.
And after viewing this video, what led you to believe that disorderly conduct had occurred?
Because of the people fighting.
All right. And did you also write violations in November of 2023 as well?
Yes.
What were those violations?
Sorry,
Okay.
before we leave this evening, were they written up for the intoxicated patron? I knew that on that night. Yeah, obviously, being real.
Yes. I really know. I did write for her being over. And, you know, I know she trained previous to coming there, but the way I understood it before, and I had this even for Oklahoma one time before, if you have somebody that comes to your business already and been drinking and you only serve them one or two drinks, if that really puts them over the final edge, that then you have, you know, overserved them.
Did you, were you able to look at any point of sale records or anything to see like how many drinks?
No, because they didn't have that available. Some places have that, like I deal with, if I deal with like these in Hot Springs, they have an account system they use there, and I can ask, well, how many drinks? And I mean, it'll tell me everything you have to drink and everything you have to eat. I do a printout with their name. But not every business has that type of software.
Okay. So what were the violations that you, wrote up in November of 23?
Okay, it would have been for vendor to do a timely change of manager because they purchased the business, and I had spoke to Mr. Howell.
And who is Mr. Howell?
He was the former owner that they purchased the business from, and at the end of July of 2023, and I went by and I let them know that they needed to do the change manager. And while I was there, I went and did an inspection, and they had some things that I gave warnings for, like they had a very large collection of empty alcohol bottles when I was there on the shelf in the kitchen. They were all spirit bottles. And so I gave them a warning for that, and I let them know to do a timely change of manager. And I also let them know that, they had to make sure that if they change anything there, they need to let Little Rock know. And I came back by on
By change anything, what do you mean changing?
like changing your menu or the way the business operates or changing the name of the business. And I had come by, it was right around Halloween in October, and he was hanging up a banner at the business, and it had a V on it, and I let him know he can't operate under a different name, that the business is still operating in Silverado. And then shortly after that, I came back, and they had changed the signs on the business, and everything on the outside of the business said to be, and nowhere did you see Silverado.
Did you take pictures of these?
Yes, I did.
Is this picture here and is in your packets? I will attend that packet as state exhibit 1.
Yes, this is for the Halloween where they were advertising this to be.
And then this photo here.
Yes, this is where they put the signage on the side of the building, in front of the building, saying that it was the B.
Here that, give them a verbal warning.
Yes.
And then
I let them know that they need to do a change manager, and that they couldn't change the name of the business because they have to, first change the permit into their name, and then there's a process they have to do.
so were they told that they needed to take these signs down and what?
I did not tell them to take the signs down because I just went ahead and wrote them up for it, but we never had a hearing on that. So, because we're not authorized to tell anybody to take anything down. I've never been told, to tell businesses, that's why we would have a hearing. They would be told they needed to pull the signage down. But after I wrote it up, it just didn't go forth before hearing because I don't know why. But I brought the business up several times through the months. I guess it's because we didn't have attorneys doing the hearings. I can't explain that part.
So did you go back by between November and now, and so to see if that sign was still up?
Yes, I did go back by multiple times.
And the sign was still up on the building?
Yes.
And then, do you know when they did get their replacement application?
It was this year, but I can't remember the exact. I don't have that date on the page. I think it was. It didn't quite something that was like. I have to pull it up on. See if I can pull it.
It's okay, I'll add it house. I have no further questions for David.
At this time, Mr. Ryder, do you all have any questions?
I have several statements that I will make.
So at the end, so here's just a little bit of a procedural on how we'll go. The ABC will kind of give their witnesses, and as they bring up each witness, they will pose them first, and then you'll have an opportunity to cross-examine. After they have all of their findings, at that point, we'll hand it over to you all to be able to present your case, have any witnesses you'll be calling forward, and at the end, there'll be an opportunity for a closing statement by both the ABC and yourselves.
I do have one question.
Okay.
If you ever at any point contact us regarding this incident to ask for a printout of what Miss Lomana drank in our establishment that night, have you contacted us at all away from hearings about it?
I did talk to you about the incident. I didn't mind talking to you about
That day that I was with the sign, it was mentioned. You said you had a video, but you've never, not one time, asked us for a receipt showing what she drank. Because in your previous statement, you said that we didn't have that in place. We had Apple Square at the time. We could have shown you everything. Now we have since gone over, and now we have to go forward. We can always show. I can go back once and show what anybody drank at our establishment from day one. So you're saying that we
Well,
didn't have that.
That day I did talk to you, but you know, I asked you if you could tell me how many drinks you used to.
But I also told you she didn't drink. I said that in the previous hearing too. She didn't drink in our establishment that night. She sat at the bar with her friends and never drank that night. So there's nothing. So, but for it to be said that we didn't have that in place, we did have that in place. It's never been asked. And I just wanted to ask you about that.
Any further follow-up from ABC?
No, not for eight, so I'll know if you have some questions for Ms. Ryder.
Okay, all right, this time, until your excuse, thank you for your time. And then, so I guess your next witness would be Ms. Ryder.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm through it.
Yeah, all right.
That's okay. Okay, screw it. You are the owner of the business, correct? And when did you buy the restaurant? August 1st, 2023. And at that time, the owner was alcohol, is that correct? When you purchased the business from him, did he sign a replacement application? Yes, yes, he did. And that allows you to operate under his permit until you got your own, correct? Did you apply for an alcohol permit in your name? I did, and included that list of notes from Mr. Robin, correct? And what was the date you first sent that to ABC? That was the week of July 17th, 2023. And that was referred to you from several times, yes. Do you know when that was referred to you? I presented all, I filled that in evidence on the hearing before, so I didn't read it this time. I know in my emails that I was checking last night, I had called them the week of the 17th. The following week, I emailed them and got a response back. That's what all they needed me to send in to them. And then I sent everything the next week, and then it started back and forth after that. About how many times did you send that application in? I would say at least 5. And where was it returned? Several different reasons. They needed different lease agreement. They needed different stuff from the state. We did, when we purchased it, buy it as Silverado B&G LLC. Then I changed the DBA to the B. So I had to send all of that to them. There was just several different things. So yeah, the last one was because I overpaid. The check was too much, so they sent it back to get a less amount. Each time it was something very finicky, but it had to be just right. And eventually you did just complete the application approved by the board, correct? What was that? I believe it was in May. At the time that you bought the business, it was doing business as Silverado's, correct? Correct. And Silverado's was on the side at that time, correct. At what point did you change the name of the business? To the new DBA? Yes.
Can I answer it? Just
I don't remember. I'm terrible with dates. I can pull the records, but I did not bring when I did the DBA. It was soon after
it was in August.
we purchased.
And, at what point did you start putting signs and banners on the building?
So I never put a sign up. We only have banners up. And it started with when we were having a Halloween party, one of our vendors offered, to do their banner as advertisement for them, like all of them do, and they put the V on it.
And then, so this sign is, this picture,
That's the same thing, but the vendors do that. So, you know,
I to this day haven't ordered a Trump business sign. All that I have is the advertisements and
and, were you ever told by 18% that the signs would be not yet?
I have not been. He's there all the time, so he's been in touch with them. Okay, officers I know.
And then, just a couple of questions about the first, thing that went over the fighting parking lot. Ms. Olmedo, one of the brochures, she was a patron in the business, correct? And, people from inside the bar were involved in the second altercation.
It really wasn't two altercations. It was all one. Miss, and I have a statement that I'll give y'all from Miss Olmedo. She was in with friends, as stated, and her husband walked in and told her he wanted her keys. She immediately walks out, and his whole family, to my understanding, I was down there, all I saw was the video. I walked out at a later time, but she walked outside with him. His whole family got out. They started fighting. At that time, it was reported to us there was a fight in the parking lot. James, who is also a deputy, and Byron Johnson, who is a Caddo Valley officer, walked outside to tell them to leave. In the middle of their altercation, they tried to stop it because it was escalating. After a few minutes of it escalating with their whole family and James and Byron, then more patrons came out to try to help. I immediately called 911 when I walked outside as the patrons were walking out. And I only called them because I didn't want to be a bad neighbor and they weren't leaving. So I had no other choice.
But there were other people besides Ms. Olmedo in the parking lot involved in this altercation.
Correct.
I have no further questions.
There was a statement made by your husband, just to clarify, Ms. Olmedo, kind of the main instigator, to clarify, she was a guest at the bar, but she did not have anything to drink. Correct. While at the establishment. Correct.
And I'm sure with our old system, I can somehow pull that day, if you need it, to show that there were no transactions overheard. We have the videos that I don't know if they'll pull that day or not, also showing her sitting there not drinking a single drink.
How long was she there?
Just a couple of hours. They went to a previous establishment and then came. So we're in the only ones to open that night. And so it's kind of a trickle down. I feel once we get busier and I close. And if I'm not mistaken, they were at 7 Grill. They closed at 9:30 or whatever. So a couple hours.
I don't have any other questions. Ms. Bird, I think we're good on the ABC side, unless you have anything.
No, I just have closing.
Okay. Please proceed to closing.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. At this point now, Ms. Bird, if you want to, do you have any witnesses or that you'd like to bring forward?
I do just have this email, she couldn't come today, but Ms. Almeida has been very apologetic for the comments.
Before you pass those out, Drew, have you had a chance to read them and authenticate it? Yes, it is just an email, so I would object that she's not here. And we don't have proof that this is really from to being an email. And I believe you guys would rule on whether you would take that evidence over the state's objection or not.
So the state is objecting to allow it in.
Because it has not been authenticated. It's not been authenticated. There's some here to authenticate that. She's on here to say that she wrote that.
Have you had any conversations with on that with Ms. Almeida? Have you?
I'm sorry, can I just add, she did put at the bottom of this, her contact information for y'all, if you wanted to call her. And if you accept it or not, that's up to y'all. I just wanted to add that's on there.
I'm gonna have to say that legally, the recommendation of our attorneys, we can't accept it if we don't have it on her behalf, but, you know, if you wanted to get a statement of what, you know, a conversation you had with her, knowing it's hearsay kind of deal, but, you know, you are sworn in.
Well, and if I can just, another procedural point, closing arguments are not bound by rules of evidence. You can say whatever you want in closing arguments.
Okay.
But then at that point, if you don't have any other witnesses, we could have a closing by the ABC first, and then you can close with, you know, your everything you're
Okay. So today we've heard, testimony and seen video evidence of the first incident that we've gone over from August of 2023. With the disorderly conduct, there was clearly altercation to between multiple people, including people that were not at the bar, including people that were at the bar. And then in addition to that, that's where we come in with this violation for failure to be a good neighbor. It's a residential area. It was 1 a.m. in the morning, and this altercation occurred lasting some minutes. We saw a good bit of that, and that would lead to causing disturbance in this residential area at 1 a.m. Additionally, we have the fresh alcoholic beverages to intoxicated person. I will say that the director had decided to dismiss the sanctions for this specific Title 3 violation here for over serving, and part of that is because of the lack of receipts.
So we're not, you're not going to keep scratching.
Correct. And then going down this list, for number 4 and number 5, the violation of failing to timely do a replacement application. On these applications, we do replacement applications all the time. This one took 9 months. I believe that really this should take 3 days. Our rules do state, and I've given you guys a copy of the rules that this should happen in 10 days. And it does take time. It has to be approved by you guys. But getting us all together isn't supposed to take 9 months. And then with training, you guys have evidence that they changed their DEA before they approved that replacement application. They had signs on the bar, whether they were permanent signs or just these banners, they were holding themselves out to be the V bar and realm, and they had not yet received the replacement application with ABC. We do ask today that the board uphold the director's decision and make a finding of fact that these violations had occurred. The director's decision was that a fine of $1,150 with $250 held in advance for 60 days, with that $250 being dismissed if there are no other violations during those 60 days. And we would ask that that be taken within 30 days from today, and the period of probation of 30 days also again today.
Now, is this fine amount, is that with or without violation of agreement?
That is without. That is totally number 3. There's no sanction levied in the director's decision at all. So that was $500 for the first one. That's a class A violation. That would be the minimum. And $500 for the second violation,
also class A. And then for numbers 4 and 5, that was 200 for each of those, which is the max for a class C violation.
Can you give us one and two guidelines?
As for testimony, there were just things missing. With our application, we require multiple documents, especially when a business is being purchased. And some of those documents were just missing. I know at one point, the loan amount was paid on the check, and we can't accept the check that's over the amount due to us. So we sent back to get the appropriate check amount. So just different things. Like at one point, it's a lease issue, and that's point.
And we'll say procedurally, we do happen to have an expert on applications in this room. If you guys want to call her as a witness, she could testify as to the amount of time that typically it takes people or what is required if you guys want to get on that time.
I think my question would be, how many applications? Just to
Again, I don't know if you're right, I don't even know.
Yes, and people do sell their businesses.
Right.
We know
I mean,
that
it's over 60 minutes.
typically our permit process is 30 to 60 minutes.
Did you ever, we ever had any, I don't know.
I don't personally handle the applications or permitting. That would be something we would have to ask somebody else in our office. But you can't call her. She appreciates that.
Wow. Well, I mean, if we're going to, I just want to levy a fine or a whole decision on this. I would like to know, because, and what were the 9 month span? What was the beginning and
So
the end?
they took over the restaurant in August 23, and the board approved their application in May this year.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking that is with the amount of turnover that's been in the office and all that, but I think during those time periods, it was a little more. That to be.
Right.
Video.
I'm sorry. We have to get.
We do need to swear her in.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'm not arguing this one, I'm only arguing the first, the 5, the first 2 charges. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's very, it's raised right. And it's all good. Like, good stuff. Thank you for being here. Please proceed.
Randy, have you ever had?
Like Jamie said, we have had a lot of turnover. We've had a lot of trading. We've had a lot of one person the entire state. So during those times, applications going back and forth because we can't just hold on to an application waiting on things. We did send it back and forth. So there have been a couple that went back and forth and lasted longer than normal. So now with all of us having, full staff in that area, it's run a lot better. But because we have been short staffed in training, some have taken longer than normal.
So I guess there were 3 applications at this time that it still did not take 9 months.
Maybe.
Okay.
So,
But they also didn't have altercations and stuff to bring up everything.
Minister, you review this application.
I'm not certain, I probably did at one point, because even if it was in that time frame, I can't remember when we hired. But December, so yeah, I looked over it probably a couple of times.
Because I think the only part I have, I deal with legal documents, city officials. So it's one thing when you turn in an application and they give you one thing to fix, turn it back in, that's another thing,
Right.
And you just keep new things are brought on. If it's all the same application, it's one thing where it's like, hey, here are all the issues on the first time you turn it in. get all this fixed versus like, hey, we just need to fix this, fix that, and turn it in. And they keep adding other things each time. But if you weren't here, you know, if you went, it sounds like we don't know for sure, like who all was.
Like I may have started the process, but I believe Corey had finished the project. But
And so that's two different things being identified.
Correct.
And I do think it's fair to ask the writer if it's the standard practice when you originally present an application, you do return it like everything there.
Correct.
But when they give you next back to that,
Sometimes when an application and they have their LLC name and they have their LLC name and then they bring you back, you know, documents from the Secretary of State's office, it's not matching, then that brings up that other.
I do have one. When or they just structure on that everything.
Yes.
Joe, you have a quick.
No, I will say, I've had a great thing happening with him. I will say, it's very helpful.
It was great. At this time, we do something else, we, you know, just prove to you that you're closing.
Okay. I do want to say, I keep saying this residential area, we are out in the county, it's a rural area, there are a couple of, houses in the perimeter, but we are in the county, not the city limits. Also want to apologize because last hearing I wasn't prepared when I bought this business, I was prepared. This is my second business that I bought to save our county. Business we're gonna shut down, and I jumped in because it was a quick, somebody doesn't know we have to shut down. Same as what happened here, Mr. Powell contacted us in June, saying he didn't have money to pay his life fees. He was having to shut down due to financial reasons. We knew in 1 month's time when everything was due was not enough time for us to get paperwork done. So we paid his license, which was strictly our decision, had nothing to do with anything else, to keep it open. And then we started our process and went as quick as we could with everything. So that being said, I did go into this line. Y'all spoke along with every other rule book. It's a lot to take in, and I've done my very best. As far as the two that I'm arguing, the first one, saying that violated this disorderly conduct. When I read the section on that, it says any disorderly conduct or breach of peace by patrons or employees on the permitted premises. Such disorderly conduct shall include but not be limited to rights, roles, or disturbances which result in bodily injury. I will just say, no one was injured in this. Like I stated, there was a fight that broke out over with non-patrons and one patron. They both went out to try to stop it. As even when we were in school, there's a fight, everyone's gonna come out. I immediately called 911. Every entity out there, we had the city, the county, the state, and one person from one of the college security people were coming. That's how quick all of this happened. And our community does pull together and try to stop things. My issue is, I feel like, had I not taken that step to call 911, because in the few minutes that we tried to stop it, it escalated. That's the only thing I knew to do to make it stop. Had I not done that, he would have never had knowledge that any of this happened. So I feel like I'm being fined for doing the right thing. None of it occurred in my building. I have no control who pulls up in my parking lot. All my security is at the door and in the building. I can't pay people to stand on highway to prevent who pulls in and out. We took action and stopped it as best we could. That's really all I have to say about that part. As far as the other part, where being a good neighbor, where it says, and I read through this whole thing and I couldn't find another, then we were being charged for disorderly conduct, so this can kind of slip in there. It says will operate your business where beverages are sold or dispensed in a manner which is in the public interest and which does not endanger the public health, welfare, and safety. Again, did everything in my power to keep everyone safe that night. I'm not arguing the family fashion thing only because I did start with in June. I admit I did not read the entire book. I skimmed through it. And when I read this before we came today, I didn't see 10 days. I don't know. I would like to know where that's coming from. But when I read the whole section that I'm being charged under, all I see is, it's an acceptable replacement application within 30 days. I sent in what I thought they needed. Stuff was returned to me. No, it was not accepted within 30 days. I did the best I could with that. I'm guilty of it not being an acceptable replacement within 30 days. I would just suggest in this book that maybe it's made a little more clear for future people, like me, that don't know what they're getting into, and it's tons of information to learn and carry on. And on the other, with the change in the name, yes, we can put up banners for the B, I assume, and that's where I see the 10 days. I will just say, as soon as I finished it with the state and county, I didn't see the issue with changing it on banners. We weren't changing storefront signs. But those last two, I'm not going to argue like I will the first two. I just do not feel as if I could have done anything different. Didn't serve the person involved who had no control over who pulled up to start it. So that's all I
Can you speak on the post this morning? Yeah, that's fine.
So the only thing I'd like, we're not disputing the last two, the fight. So we took over August 1st last year. There's one altercation we've had, period. No more. The law enforcement has only been called to our establishment one other time since then. I called them. I walked outside. Guy laying down in the parking lot. He actually had a heart attack. The parking lot passed away in December last year. It was all medical related. Nothing having to do with us. But as far as altercations, that's the only one we've had no fights inside, no nothing. We have security. At the time, we didn't have a higher security because we weren't busy enough. We were just starting. And all of security, I am sworn deputy. We also had different times had all the police officers in there. Byron Johnson is a certified police officer in Meadow Valley. But we actually run a very good establishment. We've had no issues. A lot of people that were family friendly. We are family friendly till 9 o'clock on Friday and Saturday night. And we promote that good attitude. You can't control, I don't care, like in the previous hearing, I was saying, I don't care if you have 20 security officers. They could be armed security, I don't care. You're not going to control who pulls up non-patron at closing time and is waiting for somebody else. I don't care who you are, how many people you have, you're not going to protect that. We did everything we could do. We did not wait. I know it's been testified that we waited until after it was over to call cops. The simple fact that RKW PD, Clark County PD, Meadow Valley PD, Arkansas State was there, and Henderson PD was on its way before they called them home. The fact that all of those cops were there is proof that we called in the middle of the application and said they won't stop. We called it as soon as we realized they wouldn't stop it. Because we didn't want it to escalate. We wanted it to the non-patrons attacked the Omega girl. Then she became bitter because she was, like a better word, she was pissed. I get that. Since then, she has no longer been. Her kids come in, her husband, there's no issues. They come in and eat pizza about once every week. There's not been any issues at our establishment since that day. And I just want to, I mean, that's really all I have to say. We run a pretty tight establishment.
I'll also add, there were some issues before we bought the business. With some of the ones that come in now, we were told of fights that happened within, and we have had talks with every one of them, and every one of them have said, we respect what y'all have done, cleaning the place up, making it family friendly, and they know our rule on violence, and we haven't had any issues with them. That's really all we have.
Any questions for Ms. Smith-Burton, board? All right, at this time, any pleasure of the board on the motion about thoughts for today? Does anyone have anything teed up or that have a discussion? Comments or motion? Ms. Peacock, any comments from your side? Okay. And so the only comment I would add is in regards to the failure to be a good neighbor, I don't see a lot of evidence. That's harsh.
And Susan, can you still hear us? Do you have anything to add? Do we need to unmute you?
Your last name again?
Pruitt.
Okay. I'll be correct. I cannot just say that permit you hold comes with a responsibility. Indoors, outdoors, parking lot. It is still a responsibility. The fact that you hold that permit and you're selling alcohol to 11 a.m. means the odds of something happening in your parking lot are very high. And whether or not you directly caused it, whether or not you directly served one of the individuals involved, it's kind of an issue when it comes to being a good neighbor. Your business is there. There are people in your parking lot at 1 a.m. because we have a permit to serve alcohol, and that is the only reason they're there. You know, so as a board member, that's kind of the way I have to view it. Regardless if you're directly involved, regardless if you try to stop it. We've heard every kind of incident you can imagine, from stabbings, gunshots, all that happened. It all happened in that establishment because you had a permit to sell alcohol until X amount of time. And there's a responsibility to come along with that.
Ask you a question.
Sure.
Can I just ask you how you recommend that we handle situations like that in the future if it does ever happen again?
I think you handled this one probably as good as you could have and correctly from my view. It's still next to impossible to stop it, but it is still a responsibility held by you because of the establishment permit you're awarded by the state. So the best way I can see you can stop it is a specific change. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Closing, yeah, we're closing. The later you stay, the higher the risk goes. And so the best way to control it is you'd have to close earlier, which affects my money that you, because That you're would be being. the only way we get to afford to open the door in the first place. Yeah, and I understand that, but that's part of the risk that you take, is when you stay open late. I'll make a motion in this case of, I'm saying Tracy Pruitt. The B bar real permit 00787-03. This is a complicated situation because there's pieces of everything that you could fall in. I will say that I do appreciate your attitude. That a lot of people be here with an attitude that, by God, I'm innocent and I'm going to fight this to the very end. And admitted that there's some mistakes in the application, there's mistakes here, there's mistakes there. I feel like you are responsible for the action, but you did take proactive steps to try to get hold of people and stop people. So my recommendation is, if I combine all the things together, I would like to see this fine probably reduced to 500. And it's because there's some things that you could have done as far as permits, different things. Take the sign down. The sign should, I know it's not a permanent sign, but a banner to most people is the same as the sign, is correct. I put up in business, put up banners because I couldn't afford to put up a sign, or the banner was going to be temporary, but there are regulations to control that. And so that would be my recommendation to the board is
And
Yeah,
before we vote, if I could just ask legal counsel to maybe lay out what your minimums and maximums are for each violation.
do we need a specific violation?
And that's what I'm getting at. I like where you're going at as far as combining and lowering, but just for procedural, it might be easier to understand or get warnings on certain violations, but give a $500 fine on this one.
Yeah, or just say, well, this is one, if you don't believe it, one occurred. So, with class A's, that's your 1 and 2 on that list, disorderly conduct and behavior. Those are class A violations. The fine amount for that on the first occurrence is $500 to $1,000. And then it can, if there's more violations of that, it can get higher. But initially, the initial fine amount for class A's is $500 to $1,000. That's by statute. Then by statute, looking at class C's, which is 4 and 5 on that list. So that's the list application and the doing business status may be changed. The minimum for those is 100, and that's 200.
So you would have to uphold the maximum fine for the last 2 violations. You would need to dismiss one of the charges on one of the 2 class A's and then reduce one of them from 5 to 100.
And the legal aspect of it makes it really complicated, but yes, you can do anything within the ranges that Drew has explained, whether that be warnings on the ones or unfounded dismissals. And to explain where this came from in the first place, I believe on all of these violations, they have received what is currently the statutory minimum. And so that's
For that first one, like disorderly conduct, it was shown that.
So you have to cover the good name.
So for the disorderly conduct in the director's order, she had listed that only, it would be a $500 fine, but 250 were to be paid and 250 held as abeyance.
And that is a very distinct, I know y'all are talking, we do have statutory minimums, but if you hold something in abeyance, that means you could say, I fined you $500, but I'm holding 250 in abeyance. So the practical effect of that is actually not actually having to pay what the statute.
And that was in So in advance, in like 60 days was the director's decision, so it was 250 plus 30, 250 home advance with, no more violations in 60 days. And if there were no additional violations for disorderly conduct or similar violations in the next 60 days, a portion of that fine, that 250 that was held in advance, would be dismissed.
But you guys do have the freedom to do whatever you want despite whatever the director's order happened.
Co-sponsor.
Yeah, we've been. What's the fine to the last two?
It's 100 to 200 for Cs. But again, any of this can be held in advance, for a period of time. And for a violation.
Well, okay. If I find 500 disorderly conduct and put that in the payments. So they have no disorderly conduct in the next 60 days. There is no fine, correct? Okay, let's try to do that. That takes care of that. So that
So you're gonna uphold the first count.
hold the first one.
But you're
and
gonna
put
do
it-
the
I'll put it in abeyance. So that if they're truly being good neighbors, they're truly doing their job and their thing, there won't be any violence, there won't be any disorderly conduct, and so there won't be a fine. Because we can't. Okay, I'll just leave it there. Then I'm gonna reduce my penalty on the application violations to $200.
So that would be 100 for each city.
Yes.
And that would leave us with count 2, which is failure to be a good neighbor as a dismissal or discounted.
So only 200 will be up, down, and 500 held in.
Yes. That would be my motion.
Okay. We get off of it now.
How long, your abeyance, how many days,
It's 60.
what was on the director's order?
Yeah. That's gonna make it 90, but
Can I ask one question? Just so we understand. So Atlanta starts so the advance means how it's suspending sentence.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
That's the correction.
Yes, it's
Okay, I understand.
Okay, all right, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second on the motion? All right, we have a motion, and a second, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Motion carries. Thank you all for your time today. If you all have any other questions, we have the answer.
And will that, in 30 days?
if you can pay it today,
I don't have a money order for cash, I can write you a check.
You'll make it, you'll make it.
then you do a check.
we'll do 30 days. I think that's standard.
30 days.
Because it has to be a money order, next year's check, correct? I can give you a check, whatever you need.
Whatever's easy for y'all. Do that.
Let's do the check today.
Okay, and just because I'm a lawyer, I have to say, I would like it in writing, and so that's why I would say 30 days. I want to give her notice of what is due to her in writing, so that we have all our paperwork in order.
That's perfect.
So you will get a new amended order from us that reflects the board's decision, and Brandy can help you on anything you need to file it, if you need any payment information or scheduling information, she can always help you.
Perfect. Wish you good luck. We don't see you again as a former board member used to say, pay your taxes.
But
That's all.
board, it is not on your agenda, but we do have to set the next board meeting dates. So I've got to pull out the calendars.
The 18th would be the Wednesday, November.
Yes, and that's the people.
Did we already set September 18th, what we have said before? And so, beyond that, are you guys comfortable with going ahead and scheduling October or November? I know that with holidays, kind of That sounds fun to say, we're almost in the holiday season, but that gets a little funky for some people's conversation.
16th would be October.
That's what I figured.
When you can't get late, it's not. Your season.
Uh-oh. And the 16th.
Yeah, the 16th works, Susan, is that the 16th of October work for you?
Yes, that works for me.
And I would like to commend, this board on your attendance. We don't have to worry about y'all. Y'all are great. Please do let us know if you cannot make it because we have a small board. We could run into quorum issues. That's haven't had any issues with you guys on that at all. So thank you very much.
Awesome, that's just, my first meeting, thank you all for your time.
Hey, Alex, what days we have scheduled for September is the 8th?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, just confirming. All right, Friday, the 8th,
Very good.
all right, bye.
This conference is no longer being recorded.
Just so you know, she's always, I was kind of waiting for her to say.